Hi, my name is Mandy Alvarado, and I did exercise one, salinization of soils. In this experiment, you will germinate beans using water with varying salt concentrations. You will then analyze the relationship between germination, success, and salinity. And it says that I should have 5 Petri dishes labeled 0, 0.5, 1.0, 1.5, and 2%, marking the addition of increase of salt in the Petri dish. And then put 10 beans on top of the Petri dishes inside, and then put the water in it, and then close it up. And then every few days I should, check to see if, they still weigh the same, or if any of the roots are growing. They consider complete germification when the green part is out of the shell and there's roots growing. Sometimes you can even get stems that quickly. Incomplete is when it tried but it failed, so like you'll get like a little white part next to the seed, but it really didn't go anywhere. It doesn't matter what you do, it's kind of just done at that point. And then you have the ones that are just the seeds. You can retry planting them, just because I grow a lot of hydroponic stuff in my home, a bunch of fruits and vegetables, which I'll show you, which even amplify this experiment. But after the experiment was done, the ones that were labeled 0 had 9 complete, and one that just was kind of a dead. I feel like there's always a dead when you're planting things. It's just one just doesn't want to work. When it was at 0.5, I had 7 complete, meaning that they had either stems, leaves coming out, roots. 3 that were incomplete. Maybe if I had given them more time, they would have continued to blossom. And then when it starts getting at 1 where it's, half salt, half non-salt, I got 2 incomplete, which is where that bean threshold is starting to struggle with the salt. And then the 2 levels above that, I didn't have any because the salt has reached a point where it's just not gonna germinate and make anything. Which is why when there are disaster zones, people always wonder about how the crops are gonna grow next year if salt water has been soaked into the soil. So the questions that were asked afterward, bear with me just a moment, are: explain why salinization is a concern for agriculture around the globe. Too much salt can and does kill crops around the world, killing the world's food supply, especially in natural disaster areas, which I just talked about, where flooding has come from the sea, because it soaks into the ground and it changes the natural order of how much salt is naturally in the fertilizer and in the land. And crops that are used to growing with less salt or less other minerals all of a sudden have all this different types of stuff, and it shocks the system and things don't tend to grow very well. That is why I am a true believer in why every household should have some hydroponic systems in their house, just to grow like fruits and vegetables. First, I think it's fun for my kids who are 18 months and 6 to, eat some lettuce or go pick some tomatoes and just eat them, and it's pure and it's organic, and they like to watch or tell me, oh mom, this one's having a problem. Plus, I think it's just healthier for the environment when people actually know why things grow, and I don't have to go to the grocery store to shop for things like lettuce, beans, peppers, cabbage, anything. I can just simply go to my hallway. Sorry, I kind of went off track there. 2, what was the purpose of using distilled water instead of tap water in this experiment? Distilled water doesn't have impurities. It's like if you use a Grail water bottle that's meant for outdoors and you just kind of press it, and the water comes out crystal clear. There's nothing in there, no protozoa, bacteria, minerals, cysts, nothing. It's pure water. And when you use tap water, there's always a chance of dirt, salt, ultra minerals that can obviously change your results, and it adds more variables to your project. Question 3, why were the petri dishes containing the beans weighed at 24-hour intervals? Obviously to see if they were soaking up water, if the stem was gonna, burst out, if they were gonna be complete, incomplete, or doing nothing. What was the minimum salt concentration that affected bean germination? When I was at one where it was half and half, that is where it started to struggle. When it was the same amount of saline and the same amount of distilled water, it just didn't really want to function, which isn't really surprising since most of my hydroponic plants are super sensitive to the wrong types of minerals. Based on your results, would you categorize the bean species used in the experiment as hapholite or glycophyllite? Well, glossophytes, because they have a sensitivity to the level of salt. So I would definitely say these are, as most beans that you try to grow are very sensitive to the minerals, anything you put in the water, especially salt. And half-lights aren't so sensitive. And then just to show you, if you were to continue the experiment, like in my case, these are edamame beans that I grow in my rise garden, which is hydroponic. I didn't have enough magnesium and calcium, so as you can tell, some of the leaves turned brown. But after I nurse them back to health, you can look and you can see that the pods are starting to form. But this plant is extremely finicky to nutrients. While up here I have a different type of bean. This is, I think, a Muscati bean. And these ones aren't as finicky to different types of ailments as far as nutrient concentrate or salt. I have also found that tomatoes pretty much grow anywhere, so these are the tomatoes that are kind of going crazy. And also lettuce and celery. I would say these aren't really impacted by how much salt you use. But anyway, that's another thing, is that I think everyone should have that in their house, because I think it helps make the world a better place. And like I said, when natural disasters occur and food is more scarce, what better place to go than your house to get food, especially if, unfortunately, the nutrients in the soil has been taken out. Thank you, bye.